This is a video analysis of myself and Tyler Stafford. We're doing 2 races to 9. This is the first race. We're doing Salotto sets, which is Fargo rated. Give us a little incentive to play well, try hard, and all the things. Broke, pretty soft break, which works pretty well on my table. This is my house. So I like banking this ball with some good speed. Trying to play for the 2. Here it looks like you gotta play safe. You can either bank the 2 to the side rail by side of the 3. Although it's gonna make the cue ball go a little bit too far, I think. You could slide off the side of the 2 and go to the behind the 7. So you double kissed it and ended up with the second variation. So I think I'm just gonna jump this ball. There's no real kicking angles. It's right in front of the side pocket, so I'm gonna try to put a little bit of draw on it and make it and draw for the 3. Not quite. Good effort. I think you can cut the 2 in the side. Either you're gonna have to hit it hard enough and confidently enough to come back around for the 2 some way, or bump the 3, excuse me. Looks like you caught a little bit too much squirt there. With the inside, it just hit it thin. So I knew I was going to bump the 4, so I put a little bit of extra draw. Trying to draw out for a good angle on the 3, and it looks pretty good here. Came a little bit further than I wanted. I was playing for the left corner pocket. This is fine. Anywhere underneath the 6 is going to be okay. I can go to either side of the 9 to play the 7, or I can play the 7 from above the 9. Here I can draw with left and play to the right and shoot the 7 in the right or the left corner pocket. I could slow roll it. Yeah, it was a little bit too thin here, so I decided to try to play to this side. Here I think I can play it thinly with right English to make it check and come a little bit more straighter off the rail, which is what I do. Otherwise I could have tried to use draw and left and played 3 or 4 rail position. The thing I always try to do is play my position after I make the 9 ball as part of it, where instead of just bearing down just to make the ball, you also got to play the speed, etc. So playing shape is beneficial for me mentally. It's 1-0, my break. A little bit of a tricky shot on the 1. Trying to use right English, thin it, and then come all the way down table. Maybe bump the 6 to play it in the side. A little bit too hard. I don't know. It was left-handed. It was a tricky shot. We just practice that shot more. Might have been smart to play thinly with left and then come all the way around, like between the 7 and the 3 to the side rail to the end rail, and then back up between the 4 and the 9. It's a good shot. Looking at the carom, which I like. Trying to make the 5 here. Oh, trying to play safe underneath. You could have tried to make it. I'm not sure. If you played to make it, you'd be like trying to play the 4, like 4 rails back around. I don't think I can make the 4 here. So I'm just going to kind of bank the 4 back to the same spot where it's at and then send the cue ball up table. Oh, I can bank it. I just played the bank and then just, because the 5 is in the hole, hope to have a good shot. Flying my out. Try to see the position for the next ball every time before I get down and shoot my next shot. Pick an exact spot for the cue ball to end up. 2-0. Change the spot on the break. Breaking much harder here. On this table, breaking from the middle, in my experience, is not as successful. I try to break from as far to the side as possible. Just like a medium soft break with the magic rack. So I just want to make sure I bump to get enough of an angle here. And here I'm playing to bump the 6 so I can complete this run out because the 8 doesn't go. So I was playing for high left English on the 2. And aiming for like a full hit on the 6. If the cue ball goes forward too much and hits the 8, then I'm in trouble. But if I hit the side of the 6 or full on the 6, then it should be good. I think I'm supposed to just roll this in and go forward. I think I ended up trying to punch it because I thought I had too much angle and I thought maybe I might get hooked behind the 9. And I just hit it like that. Unless you just slow roll and make it and play the speed. Just make sure you pick the exact spot you need to hit. The follow that's on the cue ball should lead it to the side rail. So there should be no scratch in the shot. A little bit too hard. I like one rail below like what you're looking at. Try to make it, ideally. The 5 is up there, so you might end up with a shot. Kicking below it and kicking it out, I'm not so sure about. I think you'd have to end up hitting it a little bit harder to create more separation to do that. So at the beginning of the set, I don't necessarily have you never really know how it's going to begin or what's going to happen at the beginning, so I kind of try to set myself up to be ready for everything. You know, and just be prepared for all the things that can happen. Here I came up a little bit too far. I was trying to play at slight angle. So now I gotta play right English to try to get the cue ball to spin off the end rail and back to the right over kind of by where that chalk is at. The table is pretty fast in my opinion, so like you can get some good tangential velocity with center ball, and then using spin to help turn it off the rail is kind of how I like to play. I knew that was going to bump the 9, so I used follow to try to get a little bit more speed off the cue ball to take the scratch away and to create a little separation to make the easier an angle. Three zero. Made a ball elevated over the 3 ball here. So depending on how much thickness of the 1 I can hit, I can bank the 1 towards the side pocket and use the 2 and the 6 as my blockers. I can kick below it and try to kick the 1 behind the 8 to the end rail, like to the side rail and then to the end rail underneath those balls, which is what I try to do. And if I had made it in the side, then I would have a shot on the 2. So it was actually like kicking it in the side is kind of like the shot that you like there to give you offense because of where the 2's located. Here, I think kicking it in the side is the best try here. Pretty tough to do much and get away with it. It's very speed dependent here. You want to just barely get to the rail. Could have scratched there pretty easily. That's why you just gotta hit it as soft as you can just to try to create. I hit it a little bit too hard even. You just need to hit it hard enough to get the ball to touch the rail 1 or the cue ball. Any harder than that and you're mostly going to sell out. So if you can hit this in straight down between the 5 and the 9, I like just cutting it that way and then keep going forward with the cue ball and go 1 rail behind the 3. If you have to kick at it, then I think kicking in the side is the right shot. I'm trying to bank this in the corner, but I'm playing the speed. Oh, I just played safe here. So that was the shot I was trying to shoot. I was trying to keep him off balance. I don't like to give up easy opportunities. That was a good shot. Kick and stick. Pull out the jump cue. Trying to draw back slightly. Been working on my jump stroke. I think I gotta try to pause a little bit more on my backswing. A little bit more control. Less spazzy. One thing that I'm trying to work on as well is develop a better timing when I'm competing. That was a good shot. Wasn't sure if you're going to be able to avoid the 6 or not there. You can roll this in or you can punch it. That was a good shot. Might be able to just nip draw to hold it. Otherwise, you can come back over to the other side to play short side on the 5, but I really like punching it back to the middle of the table to get back for the 6. Like so. Good shot. Now, if you're not straight in, you can use follow. Otherwise, you can draw and use the 9 to help you come up table. Or if you had the proper angle like that, of course, you don't even have to draw into the 9. This is mostly right English. If you're trying to hold it for the 7. Bumping it. Looked like you're trying to play 2 rails to back up. That was also a good shot. Just barely clipped it. I might consider trying to bank this in the side. Keeps your cue ball below the 9 and the 8 to use as blockers. If you can cut it to the left in the corner, that's a good shot. Babied it a little bit. Might examine that stroke. Seemed like he hit that a little bit fast. So I'm playing 1 rail with speed to get back around. Hit a little bit full. I can cut this in the side. Try to use a little bit more speed on every shot. So I'll take an extra rail position most of the time. If that's easier to do that, I will. It's 4-0. Tyler's had some good chances here so far. Just hasn't come up with it. I expect as you keep playing, you should get more and more comfortable just through like seeing what's going on, figuring out the cloth, figuring out the speed, the rails. At the beginning, to me it's like about getting more information so that you can make good choices. You're not necessarily going to be comfortable on the cloth or the table at the beginning, and then the whole goal is to get as much information as you can so that you can be more comfortable. Not sure if he's trying to bump that up towards the 2, but caught a double kiss, so that's not good. I was trying to play this higher up. I remember hitting this a little bit soft. I'm like way stretched out with the bridge. I wanted to come up maybe another foot because I wanted to draw for the 4 in the side. But now I'm trying to play through this window. And if it hits either the 7 or the 9, it's going to be fine. So it's a safe shot. Now I'm trying to play through the gap between the 7 and the 9. The tangent line goes right through there, so I just have to make sure that I hit no English, center ball, play the speed. A little further than I need it to be, but this is okay. The 6 is in a good spot, so now I just have to make sure I come out off the rail. Whatever I do. Bumped the 2. A little bit too much draw. Can't really make it from this side very easily. I might think about playing safe if the 6 ball is a little bit further up, like trying to bank it to the middle of the rail. Because it's so close, I feel like you just have to go for it. And of course I'm playing my speed, or I'm playing a 2 rail kick, and the cue ball is going to go to the end rail and then to the side rail and back to the middle of the table, something ideally. Just hit a little bit thin. Double kissed and scratched. Here, if the punch angle, the tangent line is to the line, that's the right shot. Got to get up a little bit higher. You want to be above the 7, obviously, here. Seemed like he shot that a little bit too quick. So I have just enough angle to go 1 rail to the end rail, and I'm trying to just go back up about to the side pocket, straight past the ball. Got a little clip. It's going to be fine. All right, it's 5-0. I normally break from the right side, so I went back to that. I was kind of experimenting with breaking from the left side. I find my cue ball controls a little bit better off to the right. I don't know if it has to do with my left eye dominance. I was going to try to cut this all the way down. There's numerous blockers if I miss. If I make it, then I have the 2 playing for the side. Left it tough. Yeah, like I said earlier, when my opponent is not playing well or is trying to get used to the table, I try to leave more difficult situations in general, force him to use his brain and to keep him off balance. So he's left me an interesting situation. I can cut the 8 into the side and combo it, and the 2 is there to hold the 1. So I'm going to play my cue ball back out into the open space no matter what. Not quite sure what's going to happen. Make sure to leave myself an angle on the 2, which I did. Trying to leave myself an angle where I can just use right English. I didn't come out quite as much as I wanted to. Now I gotta play a little bit more speed. I think here I ended up drawing behind the 9, and I was trying to come up table. The 9 is pretty much directly in the spot where I want the cue ball to go, so it's a little bit tricky. And I'm straight in on the 5, so I can only really just use that line. I like to draw above it. Is what I'm trying for. It's a touchy shot to draw back exactly 2.5 feet or whatever it was. Maybe it was foolish. Got halfway there. I think now I have to kick at this ball. I am kicking to make it. It doesn't appear to me as though it's likely that I'll get safe by just trying to kick safe. Like I never would have been able to shoot that shot on purpose. Still trying to figure out the speed there a little bit. That was kind of a tough shot. On that, I might consider playing it rail first and trying to cut it in. Trying to go below the 7 or below the 9 on that shot, but knowing that if I hit the 9, I'm going to be fine. As long as you're paying attention to what could happen and your shot selection involves making sure that you do the right thing based off of the possibilities, then you should normally be fine. If there's something that's going to be in the way, you just have to make sure that your plan encompasses avoiding that or taking that into consideration so that you don't have problems. So I missed that 7. I think he's trying to come above it. Just hit it too thin. You can bank this towards the center of the end rail and then come up table with the cue ball. This is a good safety. That's my normal safety in this situation. Banking it is good. Good cue balls. If he misses, then the cue ball is good. 6-1. Tyler's break. Move to the left. Kind of a glancing blow there. The 1 doesn't pass the 8, so I'm just going to play this rather than just try to slow roll and then stay behind the 8. I'm going to roll my cue ball down behind those balls and play the 1 ball to the middle of the table, banking it like 2 to 3 rails. Sort of got there. That's kind of how it goes, though. There are so many balls to get behind that it was pretty likely, if I played the cue ball properly, that it would happen. I'm playing the 1 to that area just in case I get ball in hand, that I have an easier opportunity to get to the 2. Right now I'm looking at maybe banking the 2 unless I get an angle to break it out. Here I'm trying to bank this ball into the side with draw to hold it for the 2 ball. Hit it pretty wide. Cue ball kind of went way where I didn't want it to go. Good shot to hold it. If the 3 cuts easily into the side, I might consider just making the 2 and letting the cue ball carry forward a little bit above the 3, leaving the cut in the side so that you can go down to the end rail for the 4. Otherwise, you can draw. Trying to go back and forth, I think, there. This is just going to be just draw, center ball draw. I'm going to go forward so that I can cut the 4 to the right. Now I can spin this to try to play for the 5 in the corner, but I think also the shot could be to play for the side. Hit it too soft. If I had come up just a little bit higher, I might have shot it in the corner, but I think I'm going to play the side here with draw. The tangent line goes slightly towards the 6, so I just need to counter that with draw and then a touch of left. The touch of left basically is to make the cue ball like turn off the rail. Most of the action is from the draw though. Punch this to the side rail. Trying to get a little bit of angle. Came up a little bit straight. Hoping to come out a little bit further into the table than that. These kinds of shots look like they're going to scratch, but if you just check your tangent line and you understand the physics, it's not always there. It doesn't mean that you're going to not correct for it and miss. Might take a look at your stroke mechanics on that shot. Seemed like you didn't get comfortable seeing yourself make the ball. Made a ball. Don't think I can hit the one. So on that rollout, I was just bumping the 3 to make it more difficult. So here I have ball in hand. It's really tough to get on these balls. I'm looking at trying to play shape for the 3, and just getting to the 3 is difficult, so I end up playing a safety here by trying to move all the balls around. So I play a combination on the 9 in the side, using the 1, 5, 9, and I used a 7 as a blocker. Knowing that the likely position for the 7 or the 1 ball will be behind the 7. Just the natural carom of off the 5 is going to send it up that way. So I'm playing roughly a stop shot on the cue ball. Just to move the balls around to make them easier. Here I think you can kick 1 rail to the side rail or 1 rail to the end rail. About the same merit. Might hit that a little bit hard and made it come up short. I wanted a little bit more angle than that. I wanted to go forward and through into the middle of the table, like by cutting it, but I had to draw to get a little bit more angle. Tried to punch that. Just missed it. Trying too hard to get the cue ball to move. So here I think you use inside. Try to go back between the 7 and the 8 to shoot the 6 in the side. Unless he's hooked. Yeah, I guess he's hooked. 4 rail kick. That's a good idea. So that bumped it just up enough to where I can play into the side now. Opposite side pretty comfortably. When I watch myself play, one of the big things I'm working on is my shooting system. I'm very much working on adding consistency to the speed and the efficiency, trying to make it the same as far as when I get down on the ball. The system itself is the same. It might take longer to decide what to shoot, but I want my shooting to be pretty precise and quick. A soft break. Works pretty good if you can get a shot on the 1. Normally the wing ball will go on the soft break on my table, playing 9 ball. Pretty good safe. Seeing what the lines are. Got a little bit of a hit there. I don't know if it was lucky. It seemed like I had to do something, but I got away with it. I like the 2-railer there. Kick behind, maybe kick it in the side. Cue ball can float down by the 4 to get safe. Just going to play this one rail to the end rail, play the 2 in the side. If I can get to the 3 pretty well, then the rest of the rack is pretty open. So I'm really focusing on giving myself opportunity. So this 2, I can have go forward, or if I would have gotten more angle, I could have went to the side rail or to the middle of the table. All of it would have made me an opportunity. So here I think I go forward to try to go play for the side pocket for the 3. I missed. So I'm going to kick this side, kicking over, like elevating over the 5 the other way. Kind of like is the decider. I think either way would be fine. Trying to kick 2 rails to make this ball. I think playing this off the back of the 4 is a good shot. I don't think it passes. Just barely didn't make it. It's very deep in the hole, so I'm trying to play a double kiss to make it. Definitely hit the 4 first, so that was a foul. That was like maybe the toughest hit imaginable. Could shoot that 3-9 if it's easy. Like 2 rails back out. Good shot. A little too hard. It's a good shot. So here I'm just going to play this a little bit of right English. Try to turn the cue ball off the rail to avoid a scratch. Very speed dependent because I don't want the cue ball to go too high on the three. So I'm using more like right English, trying to throw the two. Got straight in. I wanted a little bit of an angle. This is fine. Just gonna have to draw straight back. Wanted to be straight in. Here I'm a little short, so I'm easier to play three rails with follow, running. Oh, okay, so I played underneath to shoot the side. That's stop shot, and then the angle on the 8 should give me an option to move to either side for the 9. Just making sure to stay adaptable. Don't concern yourself too much with being perfect on every shot, knowing that you can overcome, and that the main thing is just to be able to be seeing the correct opportunity, the best opportunity that's there. All right, 8-2. Made a ball. If you can play this with low right and hold it, that would be cool. Otherwise, back and forth. Good shot. Looks like you're straight in, so maybe stop it there or draw back. I think now you can try to play it a little on the thin side and then just go up and down. Good shot. Great speed. Play this for the side. Smooth. Take your time. Controlled. Could play this in the corner or the side or the corner. If you play in the side, you might play withdraw and right English to play to the side rail and then the end rail. Come back up and shoot the 7 past the 8. Inside English shot. It was a good idea. I think I'm playing this with left English. Overroll my spot. Playing the bank. Actually double hit the cue ball. Kind of gave that one away. That was a little disappointing. Is what it is. Eight to 3. The 3 does not pass the 4. There's not much to do here but try to draw down there and then play safe. So here I can play like a stop shot into the side of the 4. And I like to leave those where when you're kicking at the ball, there's a lot of space so that it's harder to get behind other balls. It makes kicking out of the situation much more difficult. I like playing this 3 rails. Try to kick it in the corner. Maybe kick it in the side as well. Trying to figure out how to get on the 5 to get to the 6 easily. Gonna play above it, which I like. So now I can either play to the end rail and back straight up, or I can play 2 rails, end rail, side rail. Depends on the angle. Draw back. Want it a little bit more. Left-handed. Too much spin. Could like to shoot this inside or bank it. Play safety. I would probably bank the 7 just past the side towards the end rail under the 9, and then just leave the cue ball on the side rail. Let it bump off the side rail wherever it may go. Played the bank shot and made it. Let's make sure to go through my system. All right, 9-3. Very good set. I'm sure Tyler has a lot to think about with that one.